probably going by now. It usually interrupts me. Hey, everybody, how's it going? It's Jade. Hopefully, everybody's faring well, whether you're watching this now, later, or whenever. Hopefully, not never. Hopefully, everything is working here. In typical me fashion, whenever I stream, I always have to make sure there's not some sort of technical difficulty happening. So I'm just making sure that is everything is on all gears here right now, and I don't think it is. So not really quite sure if this is working or not at all. I'm just gonna have to go double check. But yeah, sorry everybody if you're watching this right now and I'm just like making sure stuff's working because I don't think it is. Which if it doesn't, I'm probably gonna have to just pop on off and then pop back on. But let's see here. Okay. I think everything's working. For whatever reason, my phone was kind of telling me it wasn't, but hey, it happened. So I think I'm on. I think everything's working. It has been a little bit over a week. Last streamed on the 8th of June. So for the NBA Finals, I missed game 3 and game 4 when for the predictions rather. But I did watch, I was tuned in. I didn't watch every single minute, but I was tuned in. So I'm going to go over my previous predictions. I did prediction for OKC Indiana Pacers game number 2. And then I also, on my last stream, I did a prediction for the Minnesota Lynx visiting the Dallas Wings. So I'll just go over those two briefly and then, get into the chart for tonight. And it's weird. This still really isn't even working. So I'm just going to hope that everything is working. And I'm just going to hope for the best, Okay. So like I was saying, I'm going to pull up the chart for tonight's game, for game number 5. And fun little series we got going on here because it's now tied up 2-2. So previous predictions, let me pull that up here. We'll go over actually I don't even need to pull anything up on the bottom. I will just share from my nerd notes. So like I said, last stream, I did 2 predictions. I had the Minnesota Lynx beating the Dallas Wings. My prediction was that the Lynx would win by 5 to 16 points. And I am pretty sure the Lynx won by 16. So I was like, whoa, I think I got pretty close on that one. I did say that I thought that Paige Beckers would start that game, but that she probably wouldn't play very well, and she didn't start the game. So I did get that wrong. I did think that she would be, because she got cleared from concussion protocol, but at the time of the prediction, she was still kind of feeling under the weather, dealing with like a little bit of an illness. But let's see here. So the Lynx won 81 to 65. Math, why is math so hard? Literally every single time. And I do math at my job. They won by 16 points. So I got to give myself a pat on the back for that one because I had the Lynx winning. It was a point spread, but I had them. I did mention 16 points, but I had the Lynx winning by 5 to 16. And they ended up winning by 16. They won 81 to 65. So that was a week ago yesterday. So that was from the 8th. And then for game 2, for the NBA Finals, Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers. For game number 2, again, last prediction that I did, I had OKC winning. I had them winning. And for the points, I had like 2 to 3 points. And then I also had like 2 to 3 point spread, and then I had the OKC winning by 13 to 16 points. So it was kind of a couple of different point spreads there. OKC did win game number 2, and I do have the score pulled up here. OKC ended up winning 123 to 107. So what is that? OKC ended up winning by 16 points too. Isn't that kind of kooky and weird? That I mentioned 16 points for both games, and the Lynx won by 16 and OKC won by 16. So Crazy. Again, I had the Lynx winning by a point spread of 5-16, so I didn't say exactly 16, but it was in there. And then, yeah, for OKC, I had them winning by 2 to 3 points or like 13-16 points. And OKC ended up winning by 16. So that's kind of cool and kind of funky. But yeah, it's always kind of crazy how stuff works out like that. So for tonight, let me pull up the chart here. And I have not looked at this chart. I ran out of time completely. But I am going to be doing a live reading of the game chart for tonight. I'm gonna just say what I see and then make a prediction on the fly. I don't have any nerd notes to accompany that because, like I said, I'm plumb ran out of time to look at the chart before right now. But gonna do a little live read and then we'll see how everything pans out. And let me share the screen. Oh, too. And I put Gumby and Randy back up here. Let me put Gumby back. And then I got Randy Moss over here too. So I'm trying to get all my stuff back over here. It's a work in progress. But there we go. They're the real stars of the show anyway, so let me see here. Don't put me in the corner, Restream. Don't. It did. It always does. Okay. Here's the chart for tonight. Game is slated for 7:30 Oklahoma City time. Tip-off's probably going to be closer to like 7:35 or 7:40. But since I don't exactly know, and it doesn't look like within like 10 minutes or so, anything drastically changes here with the chart. So this is 7:40. This is 7:30. I mean, obviously things change, but nothing like super, super drastic. So since I don't know when the exact tip-off time is, I'm just going to read the chart for exactly 7:30 tonight. Again, it'll probably be closer to like 7:35, 7:40, 7:45. But yeah. I'll just do it for 7:30. I got to make a decision. So let me go back here. I mean, I could do it for 7:35 because I mean, tip-off is not going to be at exactly 7:30. It's just not. I mean, I think pigs would start falling out of the sky if it did. But for, intensive purposes here, whatever. Fancy words. We're going to use 7:30. But with astrology, you need the exact time or as exact as possible. And since I do the planetary pregame, and with NBA, it fluctuates a little bit, so I kind of just have to do my best. But we're going to go with 7:30 for tonight. So I'm going to start with OKC because they're the home team. So I'm going to look at what the moon is doing because she's the co-ruler of every single astrology chart, every single prediction chart that I do. And then I'm going to look at what planets rule each team, how those planets are communicating with one another, to try to figure out if I can predict the winner and then do the point spread. I say this every time too, but with the astrology, I got to stay neutral. I got to stay objective. I can't have any sort of favoritism. Okay. Can't let that get in the way. Got to look at the chart as objective as possible. And we'll go from there. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm looking at to give me the exact points. I mean, last time, last prediction got pretty close. Both teams ended up winning by 16. Again, the Lynx I had winning by, 5-16. They won by 16. And for game 2 of the NBA Finals, I had OKC winning by 2-3 points or 13-16 points, and they won by 16 points too. So, I mean, I could pull up that chart for both teams because I do have them saved actually. But I'll just keep going. But that's interesting. And for the points, too, I was kind of focusing more on the second difference from each planet that are communicating with each other instead of the degrees I was looking at, or the minutes. I was looking at the minutes, not the degrees. But anyway, I'll get there when I get there. So I'm going to start with designating the planets that rule each team. And then I'm going to look at the moon, and then I'll kind of dive deep into each team a little bit here. So for Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Thunder, since they're the home team for tonight, and can I just say to put my NBA fandom hat on for a second here? I'm excited that this has turned into a series, that it's tied up 2-2. We got some stuff to watch here. hasn't been like complete and utter blowouts too badly. So it's been kind of competitive and it's been fun just for me too. I'm a Timberwolves fan. So I'm, kind of secretly rooting, not so secretly rooting for OKC just because it would make the Timberwolves look better. But the Pacers, they have been showing out, so I found myself like cheering for them. But at this point, I just want a fun game as a sports fan, as an NBA fan. And, if OKC does end up winning, that'll make the Timberwolves look a little bit better in the grand scheme of things, I think, or something. So, anyway, astrologer hat back on. Again, I can't have any fandom either way because it'll just get in the way of the reading. So, for OKC tonight, they are represented by Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So, Mercury is going to be the planet that is representative of the thunder for tonight. So Mercury is at 11, or that's Venus. Mercury is at 15 degrees of Cancer. So Mercury, that's going to be OKC tonight. And I think I looked this up last time too, but I think SGA is, I think he's a Cancer. His birthday is in Cancer season. He is. Okay. And the last stream too, I was saying that his nickname was the foul merchant. It's the free throw merchant is what it is. Not foul merchant. It's the free throw merchant. But I find that very interesting because, and I made mention that, we might see that even more heightened because Mercury is the planet where merchants can be found, where Mercury can be, or communication, can be found, because Mercury is the communication planet, and it's the trickster planet too. And Mercury is now in the sign of Cancer, near SGA's sun sign, who he is at his core. That's what the sun represents for all of us. So I thought maybe we would see maybe a little bit more of that, or even more heightened, just because Mercury, the trickster, and our communication planet, merchants can be ruled by Mercury, is in SGA's sun sign. So he's been a very, pivotal player. Just obviously he's the MVP of the entire league, but just in these last couple of games too, I feel like I'm spitting everywhere, whatever. A lot more of like the SGA, but a little bit more heightened. So, and he was very, very pivotal in the last game for OKC. So I think we could see more of that too, just because Mercury, the trickster planet, the merchant planet, it went into Cancer, and it's very, very near one of SGA's personal planets. So when the planets that are current, as they're moving in the sky, it's called transits. So when you have a planet transiting through and it's near a planet, like a personal planet of somebody, like SGA, for example, where you were born. I feel like this is a word salad, but if you have any of these transiting planets near a planet where it was when you were born, that's going to be a lot more powerful. So since Mercury, the trickster, the communicator planet, is moving through the sign of Cancer, and I just know SGA's sun sign. And again, the sun represents who we are at our core, our effervescence, our life force. I know that SGA's sun sign is in Cancer. So he's got Mercury really close to one of his personal planets that could heighten these things, as well as Jupiter being there. But anyway, so if you have planets like when you were born in a sign, and then the planets right now are cruising along near those personal planets of yours, those things are going to be heightened, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. That was a complete word salad, and I apologize, but I hope it kind of made a little bit of sense there. But I could see a lot more of that trickster energy, the merchant energy, the free throw merchant energy, just be a lot more heightened with Mercury very, very close to SGA's sun sign. And Mercury, again, is the planet that rules OKC tonight. So Mercury, communication planet, and with Mercury now being in Cancer, Cancer's a water sign. Water signs are a little bit more emotional, a little bit more intuitive. Maybe we could see some sort of like emotional things coming out with the way that OKC communicates. Maybe, kind of going for something, a comment that's maybe a little bit more personal if they're trying to like make a little dig or jaw at one another here. Kind of look out for that. And then for the Pacers, their sign that rules them tonight is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to be the planet that represents the Pacers tonight. And just straight away, I like that for the Pacers because Jupiter is our great bestie, or the benefic. It's the greater benefic planet in astrology. Jupiter doesn't know any boundaries at all, but normally when Jupiter kind of comes around and Jupiter touches other planets and rules a team, it can be good usually because Jupiter can bring blessings and it can bring good luck. All right, with Jupiter. So Jupiter is the Pacers tonight. Mercury is OKC. Now, if we're looking at the moon again is the co-ruler of every chart. The moon also rules the people. So the moon at the start of this game is at 3 degrees of Pisces. So the moon is just basically kind of giving like Jupiter a little kiss goodbye here. Like they're still kind of conversing a little bit, but you know, the moon is leaving, telling Jupiter goodbye. So I like that for the Pacers, but the fact that the moon is moving away from Jupiter instead of working towards like a little meetup with Jupiter, I feel like that might take a little bit of power away from the Pacers tonight. But it's still what's called applying in a sense. But the moon is moving away from Jupiter. But the moon is still this blue, one of these blue lines here. The moon and the Pacers, i.e. Jupiter, are having some great conversation here. They had a great conversation. You know, it's like leaving on a high note here because these two planets are about 120 degrees away from one another. It's the most positive communication that two planets can have with one another is a trine. It is the most positive in astrology is a trine. So I like that for the Pacers. But again, it's like the moon is saying goodbye, though. Like saying goodbye. So moving along. The next thing that the moon is going to do is it's going to sextile Venus. But Venus doesn't rule OKC, but we will look at Venus. But the moon is also in good harmony with Mercury. Mercury, again, is OKC tonight. Both the moon and Mercury are in water signs, but the moon is not going to get this exact communication with OKC during this game. So it'll come afterward. So I'm going to look at that as like a positive for OKC, but I can't base the entire prediction just off of that. But for lack of better words here, the moon is making good communication with the Pacers, and it will eventually make good communication with Mercury, i.e. OKC. So now, gonna look a little deeper here. So I'm gonna look at the ruler, the planet that rules the 5th house for each team. That is where games and recreation are found. So I'm gonna start with OKC. Now, OKC again is ruled by Mercury tonight, but OKC is also co-ruled by the sun, and look who's there, Jupiter, i.e. the Pacers. The Pacers are right on OKC tonight. Like, we're right there. We are in your house. We are in your home. We are coming at you. So we'll look at those two things as well, Jupiter and the sun for OKC, because those are kind of like co-rulers for OKC. For OKC, Venus is the ruler of their game tonight, how they play their game. And I like that for OKC because Venus is at 11 degrees of Taurus. Venus rules the sign of Taurus. She loves being there. She's in her dominant position being in Taurus. And the next line of communication that the moon is going to make is a little what's called a sextile. That's good, easy breezy communication between two planets. That's the next thing, the line of communication that the moon is going to make is with Venus. So I like that for OKC. I do like that for them. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out for OKC, having the Pacers, i.e. Jupiter, right in their first house. Again, Jupiter doesn't know any boundaries. It doesn't. It will blow things up that it touches. And again, it can bring good luck and blessings. So is it going to be good luck and blessings for OKC because they have Jupiter right there? Or is it going to bring better luck and better blessings for the Pacers because it is the planet that rules the Pacers? And the Pacers are like on OKC's ass right here. So I like that for OKC. I like the fact that they're getting support from the moon. The moon is supporting Venus, how they play their game tonight. And then the moon is also going to be supporting Mercury. And Mercury, i.e., OKC, and how they play their game tonight, Venus, they're also in pretty good communication. The one thing I don't like there is that Mercury is moving away from Venus and has already kind of said, like, see you later. That's like, oh, we won game 4. We tied it up. Sayonara. Well, see you later. Our work is done. So not the strongest there. And Venus is also, again, rules OKC's 5th house of how they play their game tonight. Venus is not making any communication with Jupiter or with the sun. Those two things, the sun, one of the luminaries, and Jupiter, again, kind of co-ruling for OKC tonight. So it's like, all right, it's there, carrying on. Next thing I'm going to look at for OKC, and then I'm going to go look at it for the Pacers too, is OKC's 10th house. The 10th house is where your public reputation is found. It's also where your career is found. So for OKC, their 10th house is ruled by the sign of Pisces. Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter, and modern day ruler is Neptune. So for OKC, they won game 4. They were able to tie this up. They got a blessing given to them after all their hard work. This series is tied up. They're playing back at their home base now. They have the ruler of their 10th house of career right in their first house. Like, they are focused. They are zeroed in, like dialed in here. They want to make this big. They want to like have a big show out. But one thing that I do not like for OKC is that they have Saturn in their 10th house of their career, their public image. Saturn is right next to, Neptune. Neptune can confuse things. It can kind of glamorize things. It's very seductive energy. It's kind of like not everything meets the eye, so to speak. There's like a bit of a veil over things that Neptune touches. So Neptune, while it is the co-ruler of the 10th house of OKC's career and their public image, it is right next to Saturn. Saturn can be challenging. Saturn will slow things down. Saturn rules older people. It kind of rules like father time, karmic energies. And with it right next to Neptune there could be something like, the team, OKC, and like their fans, like, okay, we tied this series up. It's coming back home tonight. Like, we got it. It's going to be great. And then Saturn's like, not so fast. Not so fast. I'm going to kind of bring you back down to reality here. And the one thing, too, is that Saturn and Jupiter are squaring each other. So Jupiter does represent the Pacers, but Jupiter is also in OKC's first house of themselves. So it kind of co-represents OKC tonight. And this thick red line here, that is tension there. That is not easy communication. It's almost as if, like, right away as I'm looking at this, I read this as they are going to be slowed down and they are going to be stopped because of the Pacers, i.e. Jupiter. Jupiter does represent the Pacers tonight. Jupiter and Saturn will bring delays. It will bring blockages. It can challenge you. It will test you. And those two are right in a square. They're both at 1 degree. They're 90 degrees apart from one another. And that's tough. That is very, very tough. Like OKC, they're going to have to bring like their A plus game here, their A plus game. And I could also, again, kind of think that, obviously the fans should be excited. Their team is in the finals. Like it's 2-2. They're playing back in OKC, back in their home base. But I just feel like it might be well, you thought that that's how it was going to go. It was going to be great. And, you're going to get this win. Not so fast. That's kind of how I'm seeing that right now. And the sun is at 26 degrees of Gemini. The sun is also co-ruler here for OKC. And for OKC, the sun represents their third house of short distance travel, but it also represents the Pacers, because for the Pacers, the sun is the ruler of things that are foreign, long distance trips. So yeah, there is a team coming in from long distance away. They're coming to play you now and try to cause havoc there. So that could be another thing for OKC to watch out for there. Now, moving over to the Pacers, again, they're represented by Jupiter. The moon is still in good harmony with Jupiter. Jupiter, i.e. the Pacers, again, they are right in OKC's first house. For the Pacers, they find themselves in the house of open enemies. OKC is their open enemy tonight. They are right there. Jupiter is getting support from the moon. Now, for the Pacers, their fifth house of how they play their game tonight is represented by the planet of Mars. Now, Mars is the lesser malefic planet. So Mars can be a little bit of a meanie sometimes. Mars can be a little hot-headed. There can be some fire there. There can be some rage there. Now, Mars is at 29 degrees of Leo. At 29 degrees of Leo, there is a fixed star called Regulus there. And Regulus is the royal star. People that have personal planets, or when they were born and there was planets around 29 degrees of Leo, that is usually, that can manifest as very, very famous at 29 degrees. And that is where Mars is right now. And when there's a planet at 29 degrees, there's a lot of energy there. It's a very potent degree because it's the final degree before that planet moves into the next sign. So it's like all of this energy that this planet has culminated, moving all through this sign up until the very last degree. It's like all of this potent energy just waiting right there. It's very important. And for the Pacers, Mars represents their game tonight, how they play their game. This is obviously a very, every game is very crucial, but this is very, very crucial because whoever wins this game, they're going to have the upper hand. They're going to have the upper hand here. Now, for the Pacers, I don't like for them that the moon is opposing Mars. Granted, it's not super, super strong because the moon is moving away from that opposition, but I don't like that for OKC. For the Indiana Pacers. I don't like that. But, and also, we're going to look at Jupiter, the Pacers. Mars is very, very close to being in good communication with Jupiter. Very close. What's called a sextile. As soon as Mars moves into Virgo, it's going to be in good communication with Jupiter. So there is good communication between Mars and Jupiter, the Pacers, and how they play their game tonight, but it's not super, super, super strong. It's out of sign, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But, so it's strong, but, and like, this is like very, very crucial. Like this game tonight, the pressure's on. Like, I could see the winner of this game tonight determining who's going to win the series, potentially. Now, for the Pacers, they also have Chiron in their fifth house of how they play their game tonight. Chiron is at 26 degrees of Aries. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer. We all have it somewhere in our charts. It's a constant in our life. It's something that's never going to be fully healed, but you are constantly working towards making that, whatever it is in your life, however it affects somebody, better. So for OKC, Chiron, the wounded healer, is in their 5th house tonight. Yes, the series is tied 2-2, but they're not playing it at home. They got to, that's a tall order. Going and beating OKC at their home arena when they just beat you on whatever day that was. Was it Friday? All right, so that's a tall order. And yeah, that can be very, very challenging. But another thing for the Pacers is they have Venus in their 5th house. Venus is known as the lesser benefic planet. Okay, we like Venus and we like Jupiter. So for the Pacers, they have Venus right in their 5th house. So they could be on their game today. Granted, Venus is also the planet that rules OKC's game. So it's like the Pacers are right on OKC's ass. And then OKC's like, well, you know what? Our game is right on your ass over here. So it's like, okay, who's got like the bigger momentum, but like who's got more positives here? And for the moon, the next thing the moon is going to do is going to support Venus. So I do like that for the Pacers, actually. I do like that for them. And then for the Pacers, their 10th house of how they show out to the public tonight is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury, again, is also the ruler of OKC tonight. And Mercury is not doing anything with Jupiter. Jupiter is the Pacers tonight. So, it's a tall order for both teams tonight. And it's just like, what's going to give here? What's going to give? There's another thing that I can look at too, just to try to see like who's the winner, that I'm going to get to. Hi, Angel. How are you doing? Oh, no, you can't see Gumby. Hold on. Angel, this is for you. Gumby's back. See? I brought him back. He got like kind of cut off there. But Angel, good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you. But yeah, Gumby's back. So I had to show you. Over here. You can't see what I'm sharing the screen, but yeah, I appreciate you. Who do you have winning the game tonight, Angel? You're pretty good too on your calls and stuff. All right. So we're back. So so when I look at the main things that I just talked about here for both teams, like there's like good and bad for both. Right now, I'm probably leaning towards OKC here, but the fact that the Pacers are ruled by Jupiter and they also have Venus supporting them, I've seen that play out like very positively for a team when they have both benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, supporting them. Like it usually bodes well. But the thing is, for this game tonight, you could also say that for OKC because Venus rules OKC's 5th house of how they play their game today. And then for OKC, they also have Jupiter in their 1st house of themselves. So Jupiter is kind of like this co-ruler for OKC as well. So it's kind of like, but for the Pacers, I really don't like that the moon and Mars are opposing one another. And the fact that since Mars has yet to move into Virgo, Mars, i.e. the Pacers game tonight, how they play their game, isn't fully supporting Jupiter yet. There's a couple other things I could look at here. Think I'm leaning OKC at home. Ugh. I know. It's like, what are we doing here? Which team? And I think, well, I know OKC is the favorite, but I don't know like the point spread going into this game today. But I think OKC is heavily favored. And then the part of fortune is another thing that I will look at. Like if there's nothing that like sticks out to me when I look at like the 5th, 10th house, kind of like I was just doing there. You can also look at the part of fortune and what that is doing. So the part of fortune is at 17 degrees of Leo at 7:30 tonight. So 17 degrees of Leo, the part of fortune, the circle with an X through it here. The part of fortune is not doing anything with Mercury. Again, that being OKC. The part of fortune is also not doing anything with Jupiter. So it's just like, okay, what gives here? And, for the Pacers, again, Mars ruling their 5th house of how they play their game today at this like very final degree of Leo, at the royal degree, because it's at 29 degrees of Leo, and that's where Regulus, the royal star, sits. But on the flip side, for OKC, Mars rules, sorry, just adjusting in my chairs in my chair. But for OKC, Mars rules their 11th house of wishes coming true, dreams coming true. Man. And, for the Pacers, them being Jupiter dealing with this square from Saturn, that's really, really challenging. That is really challenging. And for OKC, they're going to really have to they're going to have to prove their worth tonight. They're going to have to work through that square. And it could be something like, maybe OKC kind of thinks that they do have it in the bag. And then that being Neptune, it'll glamorize things. It'll glamorize. But Saturn right there, it's like, oh, no. We're going to bring you back to reality. Did you do your work? Did you do your work? That's Saturn there. Did you do the work? Did you put the work in? Did you learn your lesson? Because if you didn't, I'm going to slam that door in your face, or I'm going to make you turn around and go do it again. That's like the Saturn energy. And for the Pacers, Saturn rules their 2nd house of their money, what they own. It also rules their 3rd house of short distance travels and communications. So I don't like that for the Pacers. I find that to be challenging for them. And then on the flip side, for OKC, again, they're ruled by Mercury. And the moon rules OKC's 2nd house of what they own, their money. And Mercury, the ruler of OKC, where is it? It's right in OKC's 2nd house of their money, of what they own. So it's kind of like they make their own money in a sense. Like them as a team is making them income, making them money. Man, I'm just looking for anything else that stands out to me. Another thing that we can look at is other people's money for each team here. So for the Pacers, other people's money, i.e. OKC's, is ruled by the moon. Okay, so other people's money, the moon, is supporting the Pacers. Okay, and then on the flip side, OKC, the ruler of other people's money to them, i.e. the Pacers, is Saturn. And Saturn is in OKC's 10th house of their career, their public image. So it's like they're trying to make income and money from OKC or from the Pacers. I mean, you can look at everything here. Shoot. Man, there's part of me that just wants to. It's like, who has more yeses and who has more nos? That's really what it comes down to. And 2, we could also look at the gains from each each team's game. Like, where, by playing the game, where is each team going to get their reward, basically? And for OKC, that reward, or what they earn from their game, is found in the Pacers' second house of their money. Because Pluto and Mars represents the planets that are the earners for OKC's game tonight. And Pluto is right in the Pacers' second house of their money. And then for the Pacers, their gains from their game is ruled by Venus. And Venus is right in the Pacers' fifth house of how they play their game. So right there, I can't look at that either. I mean, I can, but that's not giving me the answer that I need. All right. Now I'm going to do some even deeper diving here. I'm going to look at the Pacers roster. Let's look at a couple of their more important players here. Actually, let me look at the Pacers coach, because this is what I will also do. I'll look deeper. I will look at the astrology, what I can find of each coach. So Rick Carlisle is the coach for the Pacers. So, okay, Rick Carlisle is a Scorpio. Okay, so we're looking at Mars and Pluto for Rick Carlisle. All right, let's remember that. And then OKC head coach, I know I've looked up his sign before too, but I forget. Oh, he's got the name that I can't pronounce. Mark, blah, blah, blah. I just heard it on the radio earlier. He's a Pisces. So we're dealing, both head coaches are water signs. Okay, but Mark, I can't say his last name. He's a Pisces, ruled by Jupiter and Neptune, mainly Jupiter. So we're looking at Mars and we're looking at Jupiter for each coach. So which of those planets have the upper hand here? And that's another tough one, because Mars is at 29 degrees of Leo. Rick Carlisle, okay? Looking to make a stamp here, looking to be, have a moment here. And then we're looking at Pluto. Again, this is a co-ruler of Rick Carlisle here. Pluto is retrograde, not behaving like it normally behaves. Oh boy. And neither one of those planets are doing anything. Okay. And then Jupiter is the planet that rules OKC's head coach, Mark. Again, I can't pronounce the last name. Jupiter is right in OKC's first house of themselves. I don't like that square from Saturn, though. That is challenging. But I have to make a decision. And then if we're looking at both of the teams, just to break this down even more, things that I look at even more when I just can't get like a yes or no either way. And there's probably something that I'm missing here. It'll happen. But when I'm looking at just the planets that rule each team, the Pacers are ruled by Jupiter, the greater benefic planet. And OKC, they're ruled by Mercury. Mercury, communication planet, very important planet, fast-moving planet. But it's not one of the benefics. But which team is getting more support? Both teams have to deal with this square, this Jupiter and Saturn square. Man, people. Jade Friendly, hellos to Gigi. Oh, yeah. She's snoozing over here. I wonder if I could turn the camera over there so you could see. Here, hold on. I will tell her you say hello. Oh, she hears. She's like, you're moving. What's going on over there? Hold on. I wonder if I could move this. I mean, I know I can move this over. Here. There she is. There she is. Gigi. Everybody says hello. All right. Hello, Gigi. Are you being shy? Okay. Yeah, she's over there. I'll just move the camera. If she won't move, I'll just move it for her. But yeah, she says hello. I have to get her another bed. I have to give her another bed over here. But yeah, she says hi. That's the only way she can make an appearance sometimes. But yeah. And I just washed those blankets for her, so they're very clean. But I got to get her a new bed. Her other one, I gave it away to somebody because she wasn't really using it. But now she needs another one. But thank you for saying hi to her. Gigi, everybody's saying hi to you. Anyway, so she's hanging out over there. So she's here. She's in the house. Gigi, who's going to win the game tonight? She just gave me side eye, I think. Yeah. People, I think I probably just, when I second guess, I mean, you got to look at the evidence, what it gives you. But and for OKC, this is another thing I'm going to look at here for both teams because I'm here. It's 7:28. We got a couple minutes. Haven't made a decision yet. And I didn't even get to look at the charts of games 3 and 4. So I don't have those to reference either. I mean, I could go back and look, but for the Pacers, it's just like there's part of me like when I was looking at this right away, because again, I haven't had a chance to look at it until I started streaming. I just pulled it up. I like that, I liked for the Pacers that they're ruled by Jupiter and that Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer now. And Jupiter feels so comfortable in the sign of Cancer. It's exalted there. It loves being there. So straight away, I was like, this looks good for the Pacers, just being ruled by one of the benefic planets. That's generally like a little extra, feather in your cap there. And the fact that the moon is still supporting the Pacers. Again, the moon is the co-ruler. But man, this square from Saturn, and I mean, everybody's feeling that. Both teams are going to feel it. That is the greater benefic planet, Jupiter, and the greater malefic planet, Saturn, squaring off. And for OKC, that square off is happening for them, for themselves, against their career. And for the Pacers, that's happening for them dealing with their open enemy and having to play in a foreign, arena, not their home arena. It's a tall order for both teams. And for Mars coming into play here, Mars is at this very potent 29th degree. And Mars represents, again, the Pacers, how they play their game today. And then on the flip side for OKC, it represents like wishes coming true, dreams coming true. And Mercury, the planet that rules OKC tonight, is still in good communication with Venus, but it's moving away. It already happened. So it's kind of like part of me wants to go with OKC, and I'm trying to find more reason for that, but then I'm also seeing, this is why it's tough to make the predictions, but I'm also seeing reasons for the Pacers. And, I just can't ignore the fact that both of the teams have both benefic planets supporting them, but which one has it better? And I'd say probably the Pacers, because one of the planets that is the ruler of the Pacers tonight is Jupiter. And for OKC, that's just kind of like their co-ruler. But for the Pacers, Jupiter rules them. And Jupiter, again, is right in OKC's grill. They are right there. Or Jupiter is right there. And it's still communicating with the moon. The moon is still communicating with Jupiter. And the moon will eventually communicate with Mercury, i.e., OKC, but not during this game. The main line of communication is the moon and Jupiter. Jade, did things get weird in the community? Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, that was terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. I don't live directly in the Twin Cities anymore. I'm a little ways out now. But I mean, it was nuts. I mean, and even though I'm not like directly there, like the shelter in place stuff, it's still, and just like, where is this crazy, psychotic piece of garbage person, murderer? You know, I'm glad that they caught him. And it's terrifying and scary and so sad. And it just like miraculous that, I forget their names. But they were each shot like 8 or 9 times. And it's just, yeah, the weirdness. But you know what's, my brain went to the astrology of it all. And just with right now, for everybody, we just had the full moon. Things can get weird and funky, okay, with the full moons. And then right now in the sky, Uranus, the planet that it can bring surprises, it's unstable energy. It's right near the fixed star Algol, which is associated with losing your head. Uranus, again, unpredictable behavior. And Mars is the planet that rules rage, anger, guns, cutting, blood. Look at what those two are doing right now. They're squaring one another. That is a lot of heavy tension right there for everybody globally. Like, everybody's dealing with this. And Uranus in the sign of Taurus has been there for some time. These two planets squaring one another. And I want to do actually the astrology of Minnesota, actually. But I'm like 98% sure that Minnesota is a Taurus, was established during Taurus season. So the fact that happened in Minnesota with Uranus at a late degree of Taurus, Uranus, unpredictable, unstable energy, next to the fixed star Algol, associated with losing your head, in heavy tension with Mars. Mars can be angry. It can be rage, violence, guns, blood, right there. So, yeah, I did think of the astrology of it all. And it's just crazy. Just like the culmination of everything. And I mean, that's being felt all over the place, right? This tension that in LA, you know, all over the world. But I was wondering too, just what was particular about Minnesota in all of it. And just like when George Floyd was killed too, it happened in Minnesota, obviously in Minneapolis. So what is it about Minnesota? But I know that, again, about 98% sure that Minnesota is a Taurus. Uranus, unpredictable behavior, slow mover in a final degree of a sign. It's gotten all of this energy right next to Algol. And Minnesota, again, is a Taurus. So just kind of putting everything together there. But yeah. And, you know, I did actually pull an astrology chart when I heard about this. And I heard that they were looking for him. I looked at a chart because kind of the same thing we're doing right now. You can pull up a chart to try to see where the missing item or person is. And you got to just take me at my word for this, and I shared it with like my mom. I think she was the only one actually I was sharing the astrology with, but I said that I actually thought when I was looking at the chart that he had taken his own life. Clearly not the case. And hopefully catching him alive, there will be, I mean, it's already a shitty, fucking sad situation enough. Hopefully, maybe they can get some answers and maybe some extra closure of some capacity at some point in time for the families affected and everybody affected. But when I looked at the chart, where is he? The chart said potentially near a farm, in bushes, and it had where I said like he is in a place that he owns, like a property, a place that he owns. Again, near bushes, farm, warehouse type of thing. And by the timing in the chart that I could see, I said potential to find him within 2 days. And I looked at that on Saturday. And they found him 2 days later. Well, it was 2 days. Anyway, so it was just interesting. And they found him like just near his property, like in the woods, in the bushes. So, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. So you can look at the astrology for anything, but yeah, with the way that played out, especially like the 2 days thing, it was very like, because I was looking at the moon, because the moon will help with timing. And on Saturday, the moon was in Aquarius when I looked at the chart. I don't think I have the chart. Okay, 7:38. Did tip off happen actually? Because I could put the actual time in. I think I still have the chart on my phone. Yeah, so I looked at this on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday afternoon. Yep. So anyway, I have the chart pulled up on my phone when I was looking like, where is he? And yeah. Anyway, yeah, super sad. But to pivot, I mean, I should have kind of mentioned that. I mean, it's just terrible. It's so sad. And just like scary, that's scary shit. Scary. Yeah. Just just everything. All of it. Terrible. All right. So it's 7:38. So since I still have the chart up, I can switch the time here because I'll know what actual tip off time is. And it looks like it'll be a couple minutes here. All right, they're getting ready to tip off, so it's probably going to be about 7:40. Yep, just went into 7:40. So I'm going to put the chart at 7:40. Again, it doesn't really change much, but just glancing at this and like looking really quick without thinking about it too fast, like Pacers represented by Jupiter. Jupiter and Mars, they will be in fine communication. Jupiter and Mercury not really doing anything. Venus and Jupiter, not really doing anything. The moon is supporting Jupiter. That's good for the Pacers. Also, we'll be supporting Venus. That's good for the Pacers. For OKC, again, they're ruled by Mercury. Mercury and Venus. Venus is the planet that rules OKC's how they play their game tonight. They're in good communication, but Mercury's moving away from that. I don't like it. The moon will eventually be supporting Mercury, but not exactly right now. The moon is supporting Jupiter. Jupiter is a co-ruler for OKC. OKC's 10th house is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. People! So I think it's going to be the moon. That's going to be like the giveaway here. Shoot. All right, they're about ready to tip off. It's 7:41. All right, 7:41 tip off. We got the exact time. All right. People, I don't know. There's something about like the Pacers here. Man, I got to make a decision, but thanks, Angel. I appreciate you. Everybody's got our wings now. All right, let's see who gets the first shot here. The Pacers did win the tip. Get the freaking rebound, people. Here's the recipe to success, okay? As somebody that played in the NBA, okay? I played basketball for many years at an extremely, extremely high level. Okay. Pacers didn't make their first shot and they didn't get the rebound. Okay. OKC just slam dunked. Okay. OKC up 2-0. The recipe for success: you play defense and you get the rebound right there. You were going to win the game. And also a little like sprinkle, okay, cherry on top, make your free throws. If a team can play defense, get the rebound, and make free throws, they will win the game. Okay? It's a child's game after all. All right? Let's keep it simple here, people. Oh, it's tied up. But with all of that, I don't know. There's just something like telling me that the Pacers are going to win. They got Jupiter. And, for OKC, they're Mercury. What's the next thing that Mercury is going to do? Eventually, it will get support from the moon, but not during this game. Uranus is also in OKC's 12th house of what's hidden away from them. I don't like the moon opposing Mars, though. I don't like that for the Pacers. I'm going to pick the Pacers. I'm going to pick the Pacers to win tonight. Have a little upset. Because OKC is favorited to win. And I mean, as long as I'm still here and got a couple of minutes. So the Pacers are wearing yellow. Oh, I forgot about OKC's head coach, though. He's a Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Rick Carlisle is a Scorpio, ruled by Mars and Pluto. Pluto's retrograde. I don't like that. Mars is getting a square from Uranus. I don't like that. But Mars is at the 29th degree, the royal degree, next to Regulus. Yep, I'm going to go, even with that, all right. So the Pacers are wearing yellow. And OKC is wearing white. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to do a little numerology. Sometimes I'll sprinkle that in too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the letters yellow together, the letters of the word yellow together, and see what I get. So Y is 25, plus E is 5, L is 12, plus 12, plus another 12, O is 15, so we're at 69, and then plus W is 23. Okay, so that's 92. So this is for the Pacers, okay? Because they're wearing yellow. So I got to write that down quickly. What's the date today? The 16th, right? So 9 plus 2, that's 11. 11 is a master number. You got to break it down when you do numerology. So 11, we're going to leave that because it's a master number. But if you would add 1 and 1 together, you would get 2. So the Pacers are 11 master number. And then we'll just have 2 on the side. And then for OKC, they're wearing white. So I'm going to add white together, the letters of white together, and see what that comes up with. So it's 23 for W, plus 8 for H, plus 9 for I, plus 20 for T, plus 5 for E. Oh my God, that's 65. Ah! 6 plus 5 is 11. Oh my God, they're both master numbers. So people, it's like I want to look at something extra. And like, they're both the same. So if this game tonight is not close, I'm going to be shocked. Okay? I'm going to be shocked if this game is not close. Okay? I will say that, and I have been shocked before. Literally, both teams master number 11. Just when you want to look at something extra, which is fine. We looked at it. We looked at the numerology, but and if OKC does end up winning tonight, I do think it will be in part because of their coach having the dominant placement because he is a Pisces ruled by Jupiter. And for the Pacers, Rick Carlisle is represented by Mars and Pluto. Those planets are kind of struggling a little bit. But for Mark, I can't say his last name, Jupiter is also struggling because it's squaring Saturn. So it's like, who's going to have the upper hand here? And I think because Saturn rules older people, whatever veteran, whatever team has more support from the oldest players on their team or older people and who have done the hard work and learned their lessons, I think we'll have the upper hand tonight. Because those are all things that Saturn will reward, like Saturn likes. But another thing for like OKC, for example, is, with the free throw merchant there, the trickster, SGA, they go for Oscars sometimes. Okay, we got Oscar contenders sometimes with how player for OKC is barely brushed, like their arm is barely brushed. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna roll on the floor, So we got some Oscar contenders. They're going for a foul, trying to get a foul drawn, but they get it a lot of the time because what I'm getting at is like Saturn will also kind of reward that behavior. Like if you cheat, you don't get caught. That's one thing I read about Saturn recently, which I've shared the last couple of streams here, which I'm like, that actually checks out. It really does seem to check out. So, which team has more momentum? And, back to the chart, since Jupiter and the Sun are also both in OKC's first house, they're getting support there. And the part of fortune moved to 20 degrees because the tip-off was 741. The part of fortune is supporting the Sun. The Sun is a co-ruler for OKC tonight. All right, I like that. And for OKC, another thing that I like for them too is that Mercury, which rules them, is in their second house of what they own or how they make their money. So it's like how they make their money is from them. How they get their, income, is from their efforts, like their physical efforts from them. And for the Pacers, how they earn their money is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is not doing is being challenged by Jupiter. Or Jupiter is challenging Saturn. So yeah, then it could be OKC if we look at that. I mean, I could see a reason for both, honestly. Should have looked at this more. I didn't have time. Ran out of time. Oh, but you know what, too? People, you know what moved? Okay, Chiron, the wounded healer, it moved out of the Pacers' 5th house of how they play their game today, and it moved into OKC's 10th house of their career and their public image. I'm going to pick, shoot. This is a toughie. It is a toughie. I mean, they're all hard, but I got to pick somebody here. I mean, it seems like OKC kind of has everything kind of lining up for them. Their coach, the astrology of the coach is a little bit better. But I don't know. I'm going to be wild. I'm going to pick the Pacers to upset as OKC just scored to go up by 7. Ooh. Rick Carlisle might get thrown out here. Oh, man. Could we see that? Actually, people, because Rick Carlisle is fired up right now. And he's ruled by Mars and Pluto. Mars, again, is getting this square from Uranus. Yeah, it's probably going to be OKC tonight. Probably. Oh, looks like Rick Carlisle did get a technical. Ooh, yep. We saw that. And we can equate that right now in real time. Mars and Uranus squaring one another. Uranus, unpredictable behavior. Mars, one of the main planets that rules Rick Carlisle, rules rage, anger at 29 degrees of Leo at a very public event. 29 degrees is where Regulus is found. So here we go. Hey, how's it going, man? Good to see ya. I don't know if you saw my last stream. I think it was my last one. But man, I was giving you the kudos, dude. You were getting the kudos for the Combusta comment. I mean, you called that straight away. So hats off to you. Nice call on that one. And yeah, who do you got tonight? Who do you have tonight winning? Kind of looked at everything here. Looked at the chart. Looked at the numerology of the jerseys. Looked at the signs of each coach. But yeah, and yeah, both teams, what they're wearing equal the number 11. Yellow and white equal 11. When you're adding that up, like what the hell? All right, so Jupiter squaring Saturn. Again, I don't like it. But the moon is still supporting Jupiter, i.e. the Pacers. Man. I'm going to pick the Pacers. And when I say it out loud, I'm like, oh man, wrong, but I'm feeling a little wild. I'm feeling a little Uranus energy today. And yeah, since I just got to look at this right now, normally I like to look a little bit more, but hey, it's a challenge for me. But yeah, and then again, this Mars and Moon opposition for the Pacers, I don't like that. I really don't. But I do like for the Pacers that Chiron moved out of their 5th house of how they play their game today. So, and with this Mars and Uranus square, I mean, the technical foul right out the gate there, I mean, that could make sense, but all right. Oh, good deal. Right on. I want to make sure you get the kudos because, yes, you definitely deserve it. Yes, definitely deserve it. And I was just like, Clean Music Lover called this one out. Like, sometimes he's on here. I don't think he's on here, which is fine. Obviously, you live your life and you do your thing. But yeah, you fully called that one. And, you know, you made the comment about how when the moon is in that spot, that things, you know, according to Frawley, are unpredictable. And that game with the Pacers literally winning at the buzzer, 0.3 seconds left to win by 1 point. Like, talk about unpredictable, right? I mean, that just like lined up. So kudos to you. I mean, and that was, I mean, that's kind of like amazing. That's like great evidence of that too, of that transit of the moon being combusta there between, 15 degrees of Scorpio and 15 degrees of Libra. Just like, and I didn't see it happen in real time. I saw it like, I woke up in like the middle of the night and I like checked the score and I saw that. And then hearing later on that it was like 0.3 seconds, like again, like how much more unpredictable can you get? So I will definitely, that is like filed away. So for the next one. So that was really cool to see how that all played out. But, oh wow, you just woke up. Well, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. But yeah, who do you got winning this game tonight? Currently it's OKC 23, Pacers 14. Thursday night is game 6. Oh man, I'm gonna miss game 6 too. I'm not going to be here for game 6. I'm going to northern Minnesota uh, for a couple of days. And yeah, I'm going to miss game 6. I mean, I hope for myself that this series goes to 7 games. But yeah, shoot, I'm going to miss game 6. Maybe I'll try to do like a prediction on Wednesday night or something for game 6. Maybe I'll try to do that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm not going to be here for game 6. Oh man. I'm going to have to like listen to that on the radio or something if I can get service. But I'm writing down in my nerd notes here. Nerd notes. And you know, we could look at that right now too. Like where's the moon going to be on Thursday? Is it going to be in Aries? Probably. What day is that? The 19th? Oh, yes. The moon will be in Aries that day. Mars will have moved. Interesting. Okay, so the moon will be in Aries for the next one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just, I don't know. Something about like Jupiter. I'm still gonna go, nah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like part of me after I talked it all out, I'm like, there seems like more for OKC, but then I see other things for the Pacers. So since I gotta just make a prediction, the game technically did start, but it's not over yet. I'm gonna pick the Pacers to kind of, upset the apple cart today. But if OKC does win, the evidence that I already went over, you can go back to the beginning. I don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. The evidence is there for OKC to win too. And just with Mercury being in the sign of Cancer is where SGA's sun sign is. I would expect him to be a very, very, crucial part of OKC and how they play. I mean, obviously, that's nothing surprising. He's the MVP of the league. He's one of their best players. I mean, so it's not really like surprising by any means that he would be like a complete all-star. Holy shit, that was an amazing block by the Pacers. Woo! OKC up 23-15 right now. There's 4:04 left in the first quarter. Pacers have the ball back, kind of shooting around here, trying to set something up. I don't know any of their players. Quick pass on the inside in the lane. Little bunny, you got to make those little bunnies, but they got the rebound. See, that's a ticket. You got to get the rebound. Get the rebound. Make your free throws, play defense. Recipe for success. And I forget the name of the player that just got absolutely stuffed. He wears the white headband. He's number 9 for OKC. I can't stand him. He bothers me. Because he's always like bitching after. I mean, every player does this though in the NBA when they get called for a foul. What? I didn't foul. What? Literally, every single player. You think that you never foul? Shut up. So a lot of players do that, but he does it a lot, and it bothers me. And I think, Caruso, that's his name. I forget his first name. And like just talking to, just when I was like watching the game, just like as an outsider, because being an NBA fan or whatever, because, part of me wants OKC to win as a Timberwolves fan because it'll make them look better. But I don't remember. It must have been game 2. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, a lot of the players on OKC, they're kind of bothering me. They're bothering me. I don't know if it's like the youth or something. Like, I'm like, get off my lawn over here or something. But I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. And that Caruso dude, he bothers me. Okay? He bothers me. I didn't foul. What? They always do that too. They're like, what? Just like, dude, enough. I can't. So let me write this down. I didn't put any point spread here. Let's see. I'm picking the Pacers to win. I'm feeling a little kooky. I mean, we'll see. The chart will reveal itself. I watch it play out in real time. We watch it play out in real time. But and yeah, interesting with the technical foul at the very beginning. Again, because we're all still feeling this The square here, Mars, rage, anger, violence. Okay, squaring Uranus, unpredictable behavior. Can't, it's just unstable energy, surprising. And again, Uranus next to Algol, losing your head. Mars right on Regulus, the royal famous star too. So if we talk about the tragedy that just happened in Minnesota, again, it's all across the news. Big thing here. Mars at 29 degrees of Regulus. Regulus, famous or infamy. Mars right there. Guns, violence, squaring Uranus, erratic behavior, unpredictable. So, again, unfortunate. So, and just coming off of a full moon, too. Gigi also, same thing. She's barking. But yeah, for the points, I'm going to say Pacers by 1 to 2 points. 1 to 2 points. Excuse me. And I say that because Jupiter, the Pacers, 1 degree, 37 seconds of Cancer. The moon at 3 degrees, 38 minutes of Pisces. 2 degree difference and a 1 minute degree between 38 and 37. So we'll see what pans out. We shall see. But yeah, hopefully, since game 6 is Thursday, gonna be traveling, gonna be out of town. I don't know if it'll be good reception. So I might try to pop on Wednesday, do the prediction for Thursday on Wednesday. So yeah, I'll try to do that. That's what I'm going to try to do. All right. So yeah, that's what I got, people. But yeah, I'm picking again, I already went through it all. So I don't have to keep repeating myself, but there's reasons for both. I don't know. And both of the teams, well, you know what I didn't do, but I mean, that doesn't matter because I didn't do the numerology for Thunder and Pacers, but they've always had these names for the whole entire series, but just, extra things we can look at. So 3:34 left in the first quarter. OKC is up by 6. Pacers, I thought they were going to the line. They're not going to the line. All right. So, Clean Music Lover says, I need to put in my parlay. Be right back. It was at 7:41 tip-off time because I was still blathering on. So I got to see the tip-off time in live action. So it was 7:41. I can give you that piece of information. All right. It is separating. Yeah, it is. It is. And this is another thing too. So I'll see how it plays out. And I know I've talked about this with you before, but reading that you can still, and I think this is in my horary book that I have where it says this, but where you can still count the moon as applying if it's within 3 degrees. So we'll see how that pans out. And that's just why I say that too, because yes, you're right. It is separating. And just like this, the lead is even more. It's 29-17 now, with OKC up by 12 in the first. So, well, now they're up by 10, but yeah, so we'll see how that plays out for sure. Because yeah, it is separating. And another thing that I was going over is like the moon opposing Mars being the ruler of the Pacers game tonight. But Mars so close to Virgo, and with Jupiter at 1 degree of Cancer and Mars really close to being in Virgo, but not quite there. But yeah, I don't like that opposition. And, for OKC, they have Jupiter and the sun in their first house too. For OKC, they have Mercury, their ruler, in their second house of what they own. Mercury is at 15 degrees of Cancer. Venus is at 11 degrees of Taurus. Venus rules OKC's game tonight. So those two are still close, but they're also separating. So it's just, and then you got the Jupiter and Saturn square here. Ah! Oh, somebody just got hit in the head. I should really pull up the roster half the time so I can remember who these players are. Oh, it looks like Williams got maybe smacked in like the eyebrow or the head there. And, could we see some more of that too? With the Mars and Uranus square just happening for everybody in general. And again, Mars rules blood, cuts, violence, rage, anger. Uranus, unpredictable behavior, something surprising. And, for OKC, they have Uranus in their 12th house of what's hidden away from them. Could they maybe be in a little bit of a surprise tonight? Like they were planning to win this game at their home, kind of lead into the promised land. But then, Neptune can glamorize things. Neptune is in OKC's 10th house. Neptune and Saturn are right next to each other. So could this be a little bit of a surprise for OKC? Like, okay, we thought we had it. We were in a good, not so fast. In due time. But yeah, we'll stick with the pace. Let's stick with my pick. I got to eventually just pick somebody. So, yeah. And again, I hope this game goes to 7. Because when is game 7? Let me look. I think would it be on Sunday? I think it would probably be on Sunday, right? Yep. It would be Sunday at 7 p.m. All right. So yeah, that could be fun. And just as an NBA fan and a sports fan, I hope it goes to 7 games. But yeah, we'll see. The humidity has reached Minnesota. And, oh my, people, how is it 8 o'clock? It's 8 o'clock already? What the hell? Time flies. I mean, I guess I've been streaming for an hour and a half now. But I should probably get going. I should probably go play with Gigi for a little while. All right, OKC up by 9. They just hit a 3, 32-22. 15 seconds left. Pace is going to try to get the last play of the quarter. All right. OKC fans have not sat down. Some of them have. Spin, move, in the paint. You got the rebound, but it was blocked. Ah! Chet threw his big old arm up there. All right. Nice try. A for effort, I guess. And that's another thing. And I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the OKC players, I twitch a little bit. You're annoying. Probably because they're good. And it's probably just like this unconscious, subconscious thing, since the Thunder beat the Timberwolves, I'm still a little bitter about it or something. So maybe that's what's coming up there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But hopefully a good game. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got, people. Thanks for hanging out. I feel like my hair is very, very fuzzy right now from the humidity. But, and for me, I streamed instead of mowing. I should have been mowing my lawn right now. I'll do it tomorrow. It's been rainy. Trying to do it yesterday, but it rained. Small world problems, whatever. So, I mean, I guess it's 8 p.m. Nobody said that I can't mow right now, but I'm too tired. It's going to take me a while. So hopefully by the next time that I stream, I guess the plan is Wednesday to do the prediction for game 6, but hopefully the yard will be mowed by that time. But yeah, I wish I could just rent some goats for a couple hours because they'll just come nibble it all away, right? And I don't know, I'll leave you guys with this too. Have you heard there is a company out there? I don't know if there's more than one, but what this company does is they will send their goats, they'll bring their goats to mow or to nibble the grass for businesses and people that have solar panels. Because you know how the solar panels are set up and they got to stay there. And can you only just think about like mowing around them? But yeah, isn't that crazy? There's at least one, I believe, a gentleman. I don't know if he's the only, but yeah, that's like his business. He has his goats and he, rents them out for people that have solar panels, businesses that have all these solar panels. So they go nibble all the tall grass, which is cool. I mean, come on, right? Like there's anything can be a business. I mean, and how like eco-friendly, more eco-friendly could you get? You're using the solar panels, and then you're getting, a guy and his goats, bring them over, trim the grass for you. I mean, hey, come on. I got something figured out there. So anyway, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And I don't know where I saw it. I don't know if it was like one of those like CBS stories or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it's out there. And I think that's a really cool idea. Very unique idea and obviously needed. So anyway, go goats. But I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you. I'm going to end now. And Lisa Salters is talking to Miles, what's his face? Miles Turner. All right. I mean, and I could just get sucked in right here. So OKC's got a 10-point lead, start of the second quarter, 32-22. They're driving towards the hoop. Oh, got stuck. Don't travel. Stay on that pivot foot. You stay on that pivot foot. Chet Holmgren driving to the hoop. Oh, he got stuffed. Nice defense there by Indiana. That was really good defense there. Chet Holmgren stuffed right underneath the basket. Nice defense. Very good DC. You play defense, you get the rebound, and you make the free throws. You'll win the game. Oh! You got to keep possession, though. Damn it. Pacers, what were you doing there? You just gave the ball away. Turnover. Leaving Chet wide open for a three. Can't get it. Turner with the rebound. Pacers trying to slow things down here. Oh, thought they were slowing things down. Fake me out, driving to the hoop. Turned it away again. SGA with the rebound. OKC wide open for the three. They're going to get it the second time. OKC up by 13, 35-22. The fans, the Thunder, they got their little paddles. They're trying to make it rain in there. All right, the storm's coming. Oh, okay. Now the Pacers want to slow things down and set things up. See, this is sometimes what I don't understand. Like, I get that there's a lot of time left in the game. Oh! Chet totally stuffed Turner right in the face. Okay. It looks like no foul. It looks like it was clean, but ball knocked out of bounds by Holmgren. Yeah, it's like, you leave OKC open for 1-3. Okay, Chet didn't get it. And then you let him do it again. That's not going to work. Okay, they're eventually probably going to get it. They were showing the field goal percentages here. Oh, nice pass. Right in the lane, a little bunny. Got it. See, that's what you got to do. I feel like a lot of the teams in the NBA and a lot of the players, they just always want to shoot three-pointers because it's fancy, right? It's sexy to shoot the three. Sometimes you got to set up a play. Okay, can you set up a play every once in a while? Can you drive to the basket? See? Pacers, perfect opportunity right there to set up a play. They had time. It looks like they had a one-person advantage. What did they do? They took a stupid three. Oh, OKC tried to do it again too. It's not working. Set up a freaking play. Run a play. Because you know what works a lot of the time? When you don't shoot a three-pointer 80% of the time because they know you're going to do it. Don't do it. They almost did it again. Drive to the freaking hoop. There you go. Thank you. Somebody's listening to me. Didn't make the basket, but they drew the foul. You stop the clock. You go to the line. You make your free throws. You make your free throws. You play defense. You get the rebound. You will win the game. Okay? It's just how it is. Anyway. All right. I'm leaving. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate yous. Oh, one of the Pacers players got his... Who's this? One of their starters injured. That's not good. I forget his name too. All right. But man, I was very impressed with that defense. Make your free throw. Made the free throw. All right. OKC up by 10. 9 minutes, 24 seconds left to go. We'll see what happens. Series tied 2-2. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday or whenever you happen to be watching this. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time, all right? Everybody, peace out.